There's music coming from behind the first floor bookcase. Derringer accused the librarian of having a secret room. Could it be behind the bookcase?
Everything looks good.
My pockets are full. I'll...
Sputnik, Sweetheart, and its protagonist, K. A dutiful man who accepts his place in the pecking order. Nothing distasteful thus far, yet Murakami insists on criticizing the social mold that makes a man valuable at all. Effective coercion works within, but knowing so much is not in our citizens' best interests. Box this up, librarian.
Hold on to this. I found a taser. Hidden room that Derringer entered. Some secret room.
This is no mere piece of paper. It is an escape plan. A blueprint for a key. A master key. Capable of unlocking any number of doors inside this facility. But that is not all. In the garden, there is a gate to the outside world. A gate to freedom. This key, I am told, will unlock that gate.
This may come in handy.
But Senior Octavo...
Shh. Un momento.
stay here.
I'm too old to be tilting at windmills.
But you don't know what the headmaster is capable of.
Sadly, I know all too well. History abounds with men like the Overseer.
He will kill you. Recalibrate you.
Were I 30 years younger, things would be different. I would hew to the line that Zager has drawn. But today, I am merely an old academic with failing eyesight. I doubt I can even see the line.
I'll come back for you. For all of you.
Why, 933W, I find your compassion extraordinary.
Call me Weep. I'm not a number anymore.
A blueprint of the Overseer's master key. The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
Reporting.
What a strange-looking machine. I wonder if this is what the blueprint's for. Is there a way to turn it back on? All right. Now I think we need to configure the blueprint. We did it. This key's identical to the one the headmaster used in his office. Let's go there now.
The girl has the key. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office. You have just found a new battery for the girl's phone. Some OmniView abilities require battery power, and will not work when the girl's phone is not well charged. You will probably find more batteries lying around this facility. You may also recharge the phone at a demon server or inside confinement rooms.
I'll take this.
Situation is clear.
Welcome to my domain. What? Lure Prince Rack away from the trolls. Read email exchanges. Spot Prince Rack through walls. Sorry to see you go.
We did it. If only Senor Octavo were here.
It's been a long time since I allowed someone to speak to me this way, librarian.
I will not shy away from telling you what I see. You are the dark ruler of this world, Overseer.
This isn't a world, yet. Merely a small corner of it. And the darkness you perceive persists only because you refuse to open your eyes. Now, if you will excuse me, I must tend to more pressing matters in the terminus. You don't have access to this part of the complex, so I will bid you farewell. Unless... would you care to see what we've been working on?
Not in the least. It is unreal to me. If I cannot hold it in my hands and smell the history in its pages, it is not there. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. But I do know fascism when I see it. I am well versed in the struggles against it. And I know that you will ultimately fail, as all fascists have failed.
Watch your step.
I will not! You must know this. You're nearly as old as me, but still so naive in the ways of the world. Control is illusory, Overseer. Your network, whatever you call it, I call it a trap. It will not catch everyone. And the ones who slip through it will regroup and stand against you someday. You think because of your fancy computers and your expensive surveillance that you can succeed with those who rose to power in the 20th century failed? You are naive. Control is a lie.
Control is the linchpin of a safe society. We fall apart without it. Now, as you can't seem to control your own emotions, librarian, I'm confident you don't recognize a need for control in society. Good day, sir.
There's an elevator on the other side of the atrium. It's probably the girl's best chance for getting to the surface.
An elevator. It must lead to the way out. So many buttons. The ninth floor. The top. The surface. No. Why are we stopping? Can you do something here?
I've been looking for you.
No! No!
Calm down. Calm down, or I'll have to tase you.
Help! Help!
Citizens of Metamorphosis. Words fail me tonight. I cannot rightfully describe the bleak, chasmal longing that echoes through my heart. Our beloved librarian, Senor Luis Octavo, has passed away. Derringer paid him a visit earlier this evening, hoping to discuss his exciting new role as cultural attaché. Instead, he found the Senor lying prone on his office floor, his heart failing, Ever valiant, Derringer sprang into action. He tried desperately to save the poor man. Sadly, it was too late. The librarian succumbed to the great unknown, cradled in Derringer's arms. But in a final act of appreciation, his words, I'm sorry. His last words, as he looked up at Derringer, were, "Thank you." As I'm sure has been reported, Senor Octavo and I did not always see eye to eye. Still, I made it a point to listen to his thoughtful and honest assessments of our fair République. He was especially critical of our prized surveillance infrastructure. I regret that I wasn't ever able to persuade him of its importance. I learned at an early age to never speak ill of the dead. I must hold my tongue now. But I will say this, for it pains me too greatly to keep it to myself. Had our security been more robust, Luis Octavo would still be alive. A camera is an asset to our superior way of life. But what use is a camera without a good pair of eyes to monitor the feed? Had someone seen the librarian collapse, they could have reached him in time. I am confident the arrival will help improve security in the future, and thus assure us greater safety going forward. Thank you for listening. And good night, librarian. We mourn your loss, but we celebrate your life with an equal passion.
We have to get out of here.
Good for him. Business license.
Marie's going to the surface. The outside world. Let's find a way to get up there.
Cooper here. That was quite a hairbreadth escape. I think it's fair to say the girl is on Derringer's radar now. To reach the surface, she'll need to use the service elevator. To use the service elevator, she'll need a keycard. I suggest she borrow one from one of the clueless desk jockeys downstairs. Setting a destination marker for the media offices. Good luck.
Madame Prideaux, speaker, listener, warrior, mentor.
You say you were born in Marseille? That is correct. That's so interesting because I used to take holidays with my family in Cassis. Where in Marseille?
In the south part, near the bay.
Ah, which bay?
Attends
This was a puff piece, Miss Sid. I didn't realise asking someone where they're from was a hardball question, Miss Prideaux. Prideaux. Well, you would know, I guess. Let's move on, shall we?
The way out is the other direction. What if Derringer's still back here?
I'll hold on to this.
You could double and magnify Whitman and still not come close to the obscenity of Ginsberg's Howl. Licentious sexual romps, drug use without state approval. How the American Republic tolerates what it gives birth to never ceases to amaze me. Those who allow the circulation of such trash are accomplices to corruption by implication, and our République stands for literary justice.
An old Zager cassette.
If you find a cassette player,
Marais used a blue keycard to board that service elevator. If I'm to get to the surface tonight, I'll need... to find a keycard like hers.
Sounds good.
the arc suits are effective in protecting their wearer against taser strikes, but their Achilles heel is their lack of face protection, which makes them vulnerable to pepper spray.
That's more than I can carry.
Welcome to my domain. See any Opera's applications on the map? Platform Princeback's radio communications. 5 Princeback through walls. Sorry to see you go.
All right. Good thinking.
Remember to silence a body scanner before sending the girl through. A simple way to avoid seeing the inside of a confinement cell. Unless that's your thing.
I hope they can't see me here.
Clear.
Equipping P0. Oh no, target neutralized. I'll hold on to this.
There are challenges that improve ability, and those that merely prove a person inadequate for the task at hand. By leagues, Ulysses fits the latter category so well, it damn near creates it. It's nonsense without order. Joyce leaves postmodernism unmuzzled, worse than doggerel. To what end should we let our citizens waste the state's energy on this prattle? They squander their imagination decoding nonsense, while their work ethic grows brittle and raw.
It's a good thing I'm not claustrophobic. This must be Terminus. It seems almost alive. This must be what the headmaster's protecting us from. Whatever it is. I don't want to wake it up. The Morning Bell newspaper.
Fellow citizens, it is morning in Metamorphosis. Bells are sounding, awakening us to a new dawn, a new era. For this reason, we must approach the day with fresh blood, bold thinking, and a return to the unbridled optimism for which we are now famous the world over. Our nation's paper of record, the Evening Standard, served us well in our early years. But lately it cries out for recalibration, rebranding. We have decided on a new name. And with that new name comes a new face. I think you'll agree there is nothing standard about the woman standing next to me. And so without further ado, please welcome our new editor-in-chief of the Morning Bell, the exquisite Matilda Sade.
Thank you, Headmaster. And please, call me Matty. No more toothless headlines about board meetings and strategy seminars. Find me something that won't put our readers to sleep. Go on, get out there. A good story doesn't just waltz through the office door and into the headlines. Now, I have a tough obit to write tonight, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to crawl inside a bottle for a few hours.
Weep says this is where they print the headmaster's lives. Oh my god.
Good idea. We can recharge here.
Certain Prizrak in this area of the facility arm themselves with gas grenades. The effect will knock its target unconscious. Sweet dreams.
Pepper spray here.
Welcome to my domain. What are you sorry to see you go?
Hello, Morning Bell staff. This is Quinn Derringer. Security Mandate 714 requires the installation of a confinement room in your offices. The Prizrak need to expand their footprint in Terminus prior to the arrival. Pardon our progress this week as we take a few measurements and knock down a few walls. Please consider this a friendly merger and not a hostile takeover.
Zager bomb. Terrorists almost certainly planted explosives inside Metamorphosis. That's a bloody good headline. Too bad we'll never use it. If you tell someone there's a monster under their bed, they'll check for it every night before they fall asleep. But if you tell someone there's a bomb in their wall, they'll rip the whole house apart looking for it. We're not in the business of printing the truth. We're in the business of suppressing a national panic attack. Take these printed copies up to the librarian. Let him line the bottom of his birdcage with them.
I'll take this. I'll be taking this.
Bad government fosters juvenile delinquency, and A Clockwork Orange pays tribute to it. Little Alex must learn on his own not to beat his elders with a cane. But good government has no patience for individual moral improvement, particularly now that Alex can hide behind the moniker Anonymous. The last thing we need are children free to cavort without oversight. The République carves up anonymity to sculpt the moral soul.
I don't know which dodgy back-alley journalism school you purchased your press credentials from, Parker, but you must have caught ill the day they explained how a newspaper layout should look, if they ever explained it at all. This collage you left on my desk looks like it was slapped together by a blind child. You left no room for inserts, adverts, ears, or bleed. You know the problem with you, Parker? You're so caught up with the substance, you forget that above all, it needs to look pretty!
A screwdriver. These are great for opening vents, but they are flimsy and will often break. Hopefully, there's more than one lying around.
Zager's death video has disappeared. This coming from my source in the Prizrak. More likely they just didn't care for the ending, so they're doing reshoots. As you know, in this day and age, nothing's ever truly gone. Track down the unedited version. I would love to compare it to Herr Director's cut.
A cassette.
If you find a cassette player, perhaps you could hear what is on it.
Heading to the vent. The screwdriver broke. A Zager room. It really smells in here. I'm surprised the morning bell staff never noticed.
A subject near to Zager's heart. He wrote about this very issue in the Poisoned Manifesto. As with everything, Zager saw it as a government cover-up in need of undressing.
One of the Prizrak's tasers.
That would be Derringer's personal office chair. When it went missing, Derringer immediately blamed me. I guess we can close the book on that mystery now. However, the mystery of how Zager got it through the vent remains unsolved. Zager kept lists like this one, to determine where citizens in Metamorphosis stood in case a revolution broke out. I guess I should be relieved he put me on the good side.
Zager here. Today, all Prizrak were required to report to the reading room for a mandatory audience with the Overseer. Wait, I'm sorry, correction. The few and the proud were pleasantly surprised to find themselves graced by a visit from the Big Cheese himself. His Majesty treated our hometown heroes to a few select passages from his manifesto. And after all the applause, he even sat down to sign a few copies. So about this time, I'm off. I'm wandering the halls, doing a bit of reconnaissance when some FOB Prizrak found me and dragged me along. As luck would have it, I had a manifesto with me. But it wasn't any old manifesto. It was mine. The edited version, where the pages are filled with righteous invective and disciplined truth. Like I've said before, my manifesto is the old man's death warrant. A summons for all the evil he's wrought into this place and beyond. Well, at least it will be once I can crank out enough copies. I'm kind of running a one-man opera here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, all of a sudden here I am, being hustled up to the podium to meet the man himself. And before I can hide the book, he snatches it out of my hands, opens it up to the first page. Behind the mask, I'm white as a sheet. I'm waiting for him to look down to see my, improvements. I froze. And he just smiles, that big plastic smile at me, and kissed me as John Hancock, under the words, Best wishes. So he hands it over. Off I go, and, well, here I am. I wonder if that smug Triglazoff could appreciate the irony of signing his own death warrant. I know I do.
Taser.